just about 1 minute behind here, so let me. We'll probably start at 10:03. It'll be for those of you seeing the recording. It'll be in about 2 minutes. So give a chance to everybody to join in. And I'm running just a little bit behind, so let's just give it 1 more minute for those of you out there in Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, let's give it 1 more minute. And thank you for joining this morning. Thank you. I've got my camera set up a little bit different this morning so that it's actually a little bit further away from my laptop, so hopefully you're not picking up some of the laptop feedback noise through the camera. So I've been trying to upgrade the quality of the sound coming through. There's been times I noticed that it has a little reverberation, some background noise. I'm not running my heater anymore, which I think it was picking up. And also just pulling it away from the laptop a little bit hopefully it'll help it out as well. I bought a headset, like a speaker headset, because I need one for speaking online anyhow, but I wasn't able to get it working as of yet because I think the voice is coming through, but then I'm not able to hear. So any case, which could work fine for this actually, but I'm actually tempted to try it out with you guys, but I won't. I'll test it out a little bit later, but it should give better quality sound. It's 10:03. Actually, now it's 10:04. So let's meditate. Thanks for joining. So just getting yourself nice and comfortable, and just allowing your body to completely just sink in, and to allow yourself to be allow your body to be physically supported by the chair, couch, bed, floor, whatever you're on. So there's no uncomfortableness and there's no effort required physically. And the more you're able to get yourself comfortable, the more you're able to just relax into this meditation. And just taking in a nice deep breath. And just letting go of all the stress, all the troubles, all the worries. Just letting go of all the busyness of the mind. Letting go of your need to turn to the mind for solutions. Letting go of your need to turn to the mind to find out and solve all your problems and how to become happy, even how to become enlightened, which, by the way, will never ever happen through the mind. In fact, the mind is the very source of our problems that we cannot recognize that we are already awakened. And anytime I say that, because I know where the trail that I've left behind and the things that I have done along my way of, like, when people would say, you already have everything you need to be happy, to be at peace, to joy, you all already are awakened. I really just wanted to say, F you, because it's like, That's not helpful to me. Hello, that is not helpful, because your words saying it, even if it is true, your words saying it doesn't help me to recognize that truth right now. So obviously, it's not enough to just tell you and you believe me and everything is okay. We're all at peace and everything's fine now. Oh, thank you for telling me that. So really what this is about is I like the word that Muji uses actually. It's certain pointings to help you to let go of who you are not, and pointings to who you are. And sometimes it's really easier to work with who you are not, because it's kind of like one of those things where you could say, you are love, you are peace, you are joy. Well, again, the words don't cut it. There's no word that can all of a sudden, no words that can all of a sudden describe what you need to do, because the very description has to go through your mind. And this isn't about going through your mind, it's about moving beyond the mind and recognizing that that is not you. I never want to make the mind bad. And I know sometimes myself, and I've listened to other teachers as well, they're clear on this as well, because sometimes we talk so much about the mind and all the problems that it causes that the mind kind of gets bastardized in some way. But it's the mind is wonderful and useful and essential, but not as our guide, not as our teacher, not as the one being used to solve all of our problems and to discover happiness or the truth of who we are. Because the mind can never comprehend that. It will never ever understand that. That's why when people are reading books, or, I post a lot of quotes. Even quotes you have to be careful on. I'm very particular on the quotes that I post, because I want it to be something that helps you to let go of old beliefs or shifts your way of thinking. I don't want it to just be more knowledge where you take on another belief. Beliefs can be good. Certainly, the belief that God loves us and supports us, I find that belief helpful for me. And yet at the same time, a lot of times I invite people to let go of all their beliefs, because sometimes the beliefs are not accurate and are the very things that get in the way of who we are. I think what I also want to say is that pretty much everybody needs to hear until they do transcend their mind is, you are not a person. You are not a person. You are playing a role, and everybody has come to this agreement that you are a person, but that is not the core truth of who your true self is. It's beyond the person, beyond the concept, ideas, or beliefs about who you think you are. And trouble starts believing that you are the person and that you are also the thinker. And you are not the thinker either. Your intelligence comes beyond the mind. And some of you have heard this before, and for those of you who perhaps hear this for the first time, you're going to perhaps think I need to go into the loony bin. And but at the very least, your mind will say, "What? Are you kidding me?" Because the mind, the ego, it thinks it's somebody. It wants to be somebody. It wants to be somebody maybe rich or famous or powerful or successful, or it even may go for things that it wants to be loving or kind or compassionate or wise. But the question is, where is that coming from? Because wisdom does not come from the mind. It comes from your spiritual heart. It comes from the truth of who you are that is beyond the mind. And if it was the truth that you are just your mind and you are the thinker, then what happens when the mind and the body die? What happens to you? Can you no longer think? Do you cease to exist? So we have to look beyond the mind so that we can connect with that empty truth, that non-physical self, the soul, your core self, your God essence, the isness, just the pure beingness of who you are that is completely and totally non-physical. There is nothing physical whatsoever about the truth of who you are. But in order to recognize that truth, because I don't want you to just take on another belief, well, Brett says it's true, it must be true. Please, I'm not here to convince you or persuade you. I'm here to help you to let go of all those things that block you right now in this moment, that block you from realizing that who you are is not only here right now, it is you. It has always been you, and it will always be you. You cannot escape you, the true you. What you can escape or get rid of or clear out, or that naturally happens on its own is when your mind will someday go. Physically, your body will someday go. Certainly all your thoughts come and go, all your feelings come and go, your experiences, your the senses, when you're having those experiences come and go. And we have to look beyond what never comes and goes. That pure emptiness, that pure beingness, that pure isness of who you are, which is conscious awareness. Conscious awareness. None of the things, the feelings, thoughts, beliefs, body, none of those things could exist without some kind of consciousness, some kind of awareness that they're there. Because if you weren't conscious and aware, then whether they existed or not would be irrelevant because you wouldn't know that they exist. You have to have some kind of awareness that they exist. So your conscious awareness doesn't need any of your physical body, your form, or thoughts or feelings or any of that in order to exist, but the rest of it needs your conscious and awareness to exist. Who are you? You are the one that is aware of all of it. Because your thoughts are not aware of who you are, nor is your mind, nor is your body, nor is your feelings or your senses. Although there is a spiritual, intuitive sense of the presence of who you are. So we have to get beyond this idea that we're a person. We're having a personal experience, but that does not make us a person. It just means that this is the experience that we're having during this life. But as Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay, if that's true, if it's true what Jesus is saying, then what is it that we need to do? Not wait until our body dies. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. What is heaven? Heaven is that state of being that is beyond anything physical. But you do not have to wait for your body to die in order to experience that. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's right here, right now. And one way to be clear on that and have your own experience, because it's not enough for me to describe it to you, there's so many limitations with that, but to have your own experience, to feel it and realize it, that truth for yourself. So right now, I invite you to let go of all of your past, all of it, all of it, all of it. There's nothing you need to carry from the past into this present moment that is here right now, and is the only moment that ever exists. It's easy to understand for the mind that the past has obviously already happened, and the future is yet to be. And when the future arises, like this moment right here, prior to this was the future, but it still shows up in the present moment. So the past is gone, and the future never shows up as the future. It always shows up as the present moment. It's the only moment that exists. Why is that important? Because as long as you're dragging in the past, or dragging in the worries about the so-called future, which never exists, it keeps you from being right here, right now, which is who you are. You are the present moment. You are that which resides in this moment and every present moment, and is the one that is beyond all of time. You are timeless. If you're traveling down the road and it was completely barren desert land, no trees, no plants, no anything, it was just desert, and you didn't have a speedometer, everything looked exactly the same, you would lose your sense of time. The only reason we can connect with time is because we equate it, our mind equates it. Well, I see this many trees and I'm going this fast, so it must have taken me 10 minutes to go from here to here. But what if you took away all those mental images? And what's also true is that when you are flowing with life, that is, you're not resisting life whatsoever, you lose time. And we've all had the experiences that when something horrendous that we're judging as horrendous is happening to us, it feels like it's forever. But something that we're having so much fun, we're just in joy and just having a great time, it feels like time just went away so quickly. That's because we are not resisting life. And that is how we are, I don't know if I want to say meant to live. There's something that feels off about that. But when we are rooted and being the truth of who we are, time disappears because there's no resistance to life. There's just this flow, and consciousness and God express themselves through our beingness. And in that flow, everything is timeless. And there's nothing wrong with a man-made time. We use it to connect up in certain ways, and that's all fine and good. But to connect with your core self, it's helpful to know that you are nothing to do with time whatsoever. You are nothing to do with the past, nothing to do with the future. You, the true you, is here right now in this moment, has always been here, will always be here, because you can never, ever, ever get rid of you, the true you. You can only get rid of ideas of who you think you are, who your mind thinks you are, and who your ego has been convinced you are. So right now, I also invite you to let go of all your attachments as to how you think life should look, or attachments to what you want out of life, letting go of all your desires. Why do I ask that? Because when you let go of all your attachments and desires, no matter what life and God bring you, you can be at peace. Let me say that again. When you let go of all your attachments and desires, no matter what life, no matter what God, no matter what the universe brings you, you will be at peace. Because there's no resistance to this present moment. There's no resistance to life. So what is there to be upset about? Oh, okay. I see this person just spoke harsh words at me. But you're flowing with life, and you see that that is not you, and you don't need it to be any different, and you recognize that life and God are bringing you what you need to help you to awaken to who you are. And then when you do recognize who you are, the game changes. You no longer need to bring things, draw things to you to help you to awaken, because you are awakened. Then the game changes, where all you want to do is serve. You only want to serve, and so you basically open yourself up for life and God to bring forth whatever needs to come forth to serve in the greatest and healthiest of all ways possible. And that describes Jesus giving over his life to take on all the karma or sin, whatever word, it doesn't matter. It's just a word. To take on all the karma of the world, which was a tremendous healing for people. But you don't need to worry about any of that right now. In fact, you don't need to worry about anything at all, other than just be here. Just be here with me right here in this moment. And know that your core self does not need one single thing to be any different about this moment than it is. And life will present you what's needed to be presented. Again, life and God are on your side. Everything that's being brought to you is absolutely perfect to help you to awaken to who you are. Sometimes that shows up as love and joy that brings you awakening. Sometimes it shows up as pain or fear. All of it is absolutely perfect when you let go of your attention, let go of your attachments and your desires, and you simply flow with life, where you can notice the pain, you can notice the fear, and still be in a state of gratitude. Why? Because you are the witness of the fear, you are the witness of the pain, you are also the witness of the joy and the fun and the playfulness of life. You are the witness to all of it. And as the witness, when you don't resist it, the experience, when you don't try to get rid of it or fight against it or struggle of it or make it bad or wrong, there's only peace that is left. And in that peace we find even gratitude for everything that's brought our way, knowing that it's all for our greatest good or for the greatest good of mankind. We try so hard. I've tried so hard, really most of my life, and I still find myself trying quite oftentimes. But when I notice that I'm trying, what am I trying to do? And that word do is part of the key there, trying to do something. The very core of who we are is not doing anything. There's no movement. There's no movement in our pure self. There's no action. There is no function. There's no functioning. Please hear this. There's no action. There's no doing. There is no functioning of our core self. It is simply a witness to the universe. How can God be at peace with all of mankind? How can you be at peace with all of mankind? By simply being aware of all of it without needing to change any of it. I've said this before, sometimes it seems so easy to me. Last night I woke up and I saw that I was just conscious and aware of everything, and that I did not need one single thing to change in my life. And if I did need something to change in my life in order to be happy, then I can simply notice that thought and know that it is a thought and it's not who I am. All your attachments, all your desires, all come from the mind. They come from the mind because the mind is convinced that this is what is needed for you in order to be happy. When in truth, all that's needed is to simply be aware of that thought and recognize that you are not that thought. You are not that feeling. You are not that experience. You are not the body or the mind. And you don't need any of them to change. I love this teaching. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And to be honest with you, I just feel so grateful right now that I get to share this with you, because it's beautiful for me. I don't know your experience. It may be beautiful for you. It may be frustrating for you. Either way is perfect. Can you simply just notice those thoughts, notice those feelings? That's all. Just notice them. And not ask them to change or be any different, because you don't need to change them. You don't need them to be any different because it's just the mind being busy. Again, you are not the thinker of the thoughts. Your intelligence comes beyond the mind, and that is divine intelligence and divine wisdom. Your wisdom comes beyond the mind, which is intelligence coming from the head. You want your wisdom comes from the heart. I don't mean the physical heart. I mean the spiritual heart. So much action in this world comes from our heads and not from our hearts. It comes from pain and fear. And quite oftentimes, our actions are contributing to more damage in the world than they are good. True good comes from the stillness and silence and truth of who you are, where all wisdom flows, which is beyond any form, beyond any shape, beyond any thoughts or beliefs of the mind. And when I say that you are absolutely perfect, again, I'm not trying to add to your beliefs or try to convince you of that truth. But I do want to point to the fact that it's only the mind that thinks you are not perfect, because it cannot see the truth of who you are, which is formless, and it can't recognize the emptiness, the nothingness of who you are. It can only recognize that which it can see, that which is logical. And you, the conscious awareness, is the one who is able to see all of it. The core self, the core truth of who you are, is the only thing that cannot be seen. All those things that can be seen are not you. Those are the ones that we can be a witness to, that we can be aware of, but they are not us. Right now, I'm just feeling like you to just open up and allow in all the love, all the blessings, all the grace from God, all the grace and love and blessings from your teachers, your guides, the angels, all those sages and saints that you follow, or that are here to love you in a way that's in alignment with Father's will for us. Just allowing it all in. And just surrendering into that. Surrendering into peace. Surrendering into love. Surrendering into the bliss of God itself. What a glorious moment to return home to who you are, the one who is a witness to all of it. The one who is flowing with life and with God without any resistance whatsoever. The one who has given up all attachments, all desires. The one who has trust and faith that God and life are on your side. Yes, you are enough. And enough isn't even the right word, because that almost insinuates that there's some kind of quantity. You are beyond quantity. You are beyond quality. You simply are. And in that isness, that pure beingness, you don't have to try to find peace. That is your experience. And when you're rooted in your core self, you don't have to find love or try to be love. There's no trying that's necessary. That is your core essence. You don't need to find or be joy. You are that. That is who you are. But even that, I invite you to even let go of those labels of peace and joy and love. Just be completely empty. And the emptiness, the silence of who you are will be whatever experience it needs to be, without any labels whatsoever. I've never said that before. I've never heard that before. So for me, from my egoic self, it's hard to separate the two right now, to be honest with you. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I say that not as trying to toot my horn, but just that these are not my words. These are not my words. Like you, I just want to bathe in the silence and the truth and the joy of who I am. And who I have always been, who I will always be, and who you have always been, and who you will always be. Perfect, whole, complete, not needing one single thing. And the words that come to me now are joyous meditation. Joyous meditation. Just bringing your awareness to your breath, just noticing it as it easily and effortlessly flows in and out. There's no trying or doing or any effort required. You're just witnessing it. And when a thought comes in, you don't need to worry about the thought whatsoever. And the beautiful thing about practicing this, that when the thoughts come in, just as soon as you recognize it, you can just return to the present moment, return to who you are, return to the silence and the stillness. And if you want to use the breath, use the breath, whatever works to just bring you back to this present moment that contains everything you need, including you. But you don't want to engage the thoughts or the feelings in any way, because to analyze them, to correct them with self-talk, or to believe them in any way only engages them and empowers the mind as if it is real in the first place. And I've been using this quote some lately from A Course in Miracles because I love it. It's just very poignant. Nothing real can ever be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. And therein lies the peace of God. Nothing real can be threatened. You, the true you, can never be threatened. There is nothing whatsoever that you can ever do to your core self to diminish it, to attack it, to hurt it in any form or fashion. Because you can't hurt. There's nothing physical there of who you are. It's just being aware. It's just awareness. Oh, wow. Look at that evil act. Look at what they did to that person. Well, my. But it's without judgment. That's why when you are the witness, without any judgment, without any need for any of it to change, again, all that's left is peace and truth of who you are. It's just peace. Peace. You don't need anything to be any different. So by practicing, when a thought comes in and you don't pay it any attention whatsoever, eventually that thought falls away, that belief falls away, and eventually you stop looking to your mind for the answers, because you know the mind is not providing what you're looking for. That you are the truth of what you're looking for. And there's no seeking out answers or solutions or how to find happiness, because you are already that truth. And again, I just bring your awareness to your breath. Just simply notice it. And you can, however busy your mind wants to be, just let it be busy. Pay it. No, you don't need to. You don't need to give it any energy whatsoever. All that's necessary is just to notice it. Oh, okay, wow. I see the mind is really busy. Thanks for sharing. Let me just come back to the present moment. Come back and return home to who I am, the one who is witnessing all of it without a need to change any of it. So let's just practice following the breath right now, or if you want to just bathe in the stillness, that's perfect as well. When your mind drifts, notice it and return to the present moment. And if your mind has drifted, just allow those thoughts to gently and effortlessly pass on by and come back to your focal point, or come back to being aware of your breath, which is returning home to who you are, the one witnessing the thoughts, the one witnessing the breath. just coming back to the present moment. Just coming back to being aware of your breath. And coming back to the present moment again. going to begin to bring this meditation to a completion. If you'd like to continue meditating, please either mute or turn your device off. And thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath. Just re-oxygenating, re-energizing this beautiful body that gets us around so nicely. And moving it around, stretching a little bit. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Of which I can't fully open my one eye. Still having a bit of eye issues here. It's actually doing better. I fasted a couple days ago, and I'm fasting today until about 5 o'clock. And if you ever have any sickness or illness going on, I'm telling you, fasting is really an awesome way. And for me, it's not just a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing by me just doing good things for myself and just opening up to how God truly gives back in amazing and wonderful ways. So let me just take a peek in on Facebook and YouTube both. I'll do Facebook here first. And for me, it's not... Mute that. And I don't see any comments as of yet, so if you guys want to, you can't do it. Wait, let's see. Is there something in here? Let me close it. Oh, okay, Michelle. Very nice. Thank you. You're welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for always joining me. I really appreciate that a lot. Nice eye here, huh? It's getting better, actually. It's doing better, so I'm grateful for that. If anyone else wants to say hi on Facebook, you're welcome to, but right now I'm going to go over to YouTube. I know we had a couple people over there, so let me go there and see. And let's see. Good morning. We've got sunshine. Yes, I know. And hey, Oli, I don't know if you're still on there, but thanks for joining. He's been joining some lately. I receive every moment of this teaching a joyous meditation indeed. Thanks, Sandy. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And so let's see. Let me just get back over to Facebook. And so, okay. Somebody might have muted and just still be meditating. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining. I greatly appreciate it. And let's see. I will be meditating tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So I'll see you then. Okay, thanks.